Get the fuck out.
We need more romance, Ben. We need more romance. We have to
I don't have time. It's Rosh Hashanah tonight.
Yeah,
Welcome. We're recording. 3, 2, 1.
Okay,
we
that's
are live.
no.
That's staying. Welcome to the
Just
Mixed Martial Arts
keep
podcast.
going. Don't forget about this.
I am your host, Ben Cohn. Joining me today, we got Alejandro, we got Bilal. Say hi, guys.
Hey.
Away.
Say something.
Away.
I don't know. I don't know what he's doing right now. Well,
Wait,
we got.
don't you hear me?
Hi.
We can hear you. We can hear you. Chill the hell out. All right. Like I said, it's the Mixed Martial Arts podcast. We're doing an episode. You're joining us. It's wonderful. We have a lot to get through today, starting with the upcoming UFC 243 card, headlined by Robert Whittaker is making his comeback from all his injuries and shit. Finally. And he's going to be facing off against interim champ Israel Adesanya, who is coming off the awesome fight with Kelvin Gastelum. We are also going to be recapping a bunch of different fight cards. We had the Jack Hermanson versus Jared Cannonier fight, 2 Bellator cards, and we can briefly discuss Sean Porter versus Errol Spence Jr. We're going to start with the UFC 243 card, though. And we're going to end with the top 2 fights because this card is this is a rough card. It's a really rough card. There's not much to look at. There's Megan Anderson who's fighting somebody, and then you have I honestly have never heard of her. I'm not going to pretend I have. She is clearly someone who prefers to fight on the feet from the footage I have seen of her. At least she's not somebody who's fighting at the weight class because she's just out of shape. She's actually a pretty big woman in terms of height. She seems to be decent. She's decent athleticism. I'm surprised. Like, it's not like she's completely unathletic, but Megan should still have a significant athletic advantage. And this woman's long as well. She's pretty long and tall compared to the opponents I've seen her fight. So maybe we'll see Megan lose on the feet too. I hope not. I don't think so. But, this woman has better instinct in terms of defending ground stylists than Megan does. So that's not a good sign. I'm not going to lie. And she's using a jab.
You're bad.
She's using her jab a lot in this fight. But she has terrible instincts up close and actually. Anyway, that's happening. Then we have, I guess, Jake Matthews is coming back again. It looks like they're giving him another guy to kind of win against. Tai Tuivasa versus Sergey Spivak.
Who's Sergey Spivak?
He's the guy who got ruined by Alistair Overeem on the ground, I think.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure it's that
was it
guy.
Was it the first Russian sounding guy or the second one?
Wait, no, this guy is not the guy. No, this is the guy who just lost in less than a minute. Walt Harris. That's my bad.
Oh,
he was undefeated.
Him, yeah.
He was undefeated.
I remember him. I was just thinking. I remember from the Russian.
Right. You're right. You're correct. It wasn't him. This guy got murdered by Walt Harris. All right, let's jump into it. Robert Whittaker, Israel Adesanya, champ versus champ. This is one interim championship I was kind of okay with because Whittaker really had a lot of medical issues.
Well, he tends to sacrifice one of his body parts to demons every time he fights Yoel Romero. So
yeah, that's the problem.
Take his time. You should take his time coming back.
It's just kind of sucks because he's clearly one of the best pound for pound fighters in the world, in my opinion. The guy is one of the best fighters. Period. His skills are there, and he just can't keep healthy, and it really sucks. Between the injuries from the Romero fights and the staph, it's the staph infections. It's kind of sucks being a Robert Whittaker fan, doesn't it? But when he fights, it's great being a Robert Whittaker fan because his fights are bomb ass fights. He is kind of the guy's journey as a fighter is crazy, right? He won. Did he win the Ultimate Fighter?
I believe he did.
He won the Ultimate Fighter.
I think so.
Then he had his welterweight situation. He got knocked out by Stephen Thompson and lost the split decision to Court McGee.
McGee, right?
Yeah, he lost to Court McGee by split decision. Then he gets knocked out by Thompson. Doesn't move up right away. Wins his next fight. Then moves up and just wrecks Clint Hester and Brad Tavares.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, he cited Nate Marquardt as inspiration for the move.
Nate Marquardt? Interesting.
Yeah. So I think Nate Marquardt said after he moved back up to middleweight from welterweight, I think he said something like, "It's nice being able to work on your skills instead of having to cut down always." And then Whittaker mentioned it in a post-fight interview that that kind of gave him inspiration to move up and not having to worry about the massive cut down anymore.
Well, I wish more fighters would listen to that because it's a really true statement. Because then you take a look at how he's looked since moving up to middleweight, and it's kind of a big difference.
Well, I mean, it's a give and take also. There's always the danger that you fight a Yoel Romero where it's Superman versus a normal dude for the first 2 rounds.
Well, he's not. That's the thing. Robert Whittaker is not a normal dude because normal dudes don't do that with Yoel Romero.
Or relatively. I mean, shit, I was watching the fight.
Well, he's
I was
really
watching
old.
the fight earlier, and every strike he landed for the first 3 rounds looked like he was just punching a wall.
Well, he did say that he was that was the hardest person he's ever punched, right? Or something like that. He said it was like punching he said it was like punching a brick wall or something like that, right?
Yeah. I believed it watching that fight.
Yeah.
Yoel Romero did not budge for shit.
Romero was much bigger for the rematch. He came in looking bigger.
Yeah. But
that's impressive because it's Yoel Romero.
To be fair, maybe he came in bigger afterwards also, but I think he fought Costa, and Costa's not someone who will make you look bigger when you stand opposite.
No. I'm saying against Whittaker, I think he looked bigger in the second fight.
Oh yeah, I agree with that.
Which is fucked up. It's really fucked up. It's really messed up. It's I'm fighting the most absolutely hoss dude in the division at the moment. And then the rematch, he comes in even more of a hoss dude. And it's not like he didn't and he only missed weight by 0.2 pounds.
Yeah.
I don't consider that really a failed weight cut because you're 0.2 pounds away and the commission stops you from getting that extra done. You're not getting any advantage really from coming in heavy. At least from the weight cut point.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, but let's talk about. Yeah. Wait, I need to find my fucking notes. I made notes on this shit.
I know you made notes on it, and they're all wrong because you're completely overestimating how good Izzy is. I'm sorry. He's not.
No, I'm not.
You had Kelvin Gastelum landing jabs and leg kicks basically
Shut the fuck up and let's talk about it, okay?
Okay. No problem. I just made a statement. Counter it, please.
The statement on... Okay, so what I figured out from... Wait, what the fuck? Let me get my notes quickly. What I figured out from watching the Gastelum fight... I made a shit ton of notes here. I need to find them. No, what I figured I looked out from the Gastelum fight... No, I fucking found it. Fuck you. No,
keep going.
What I realized from the Gastelum fight is that he's really good on the outside, but he doesn't know when to initiate clinch exchanges specifically. And as well as having kind of that, general tall man problems against shorter fighters where there's that slice of range that they are really susceptible to. So against Gastelum, when Gastelum would just push forward and double up on his strikes going forward, Izzy really didn't want to clinch up, and you can only keep moving backwards long enough until a punch actually gets through, and that's what ended up getting him caught most of the time. The jabs and stuff still landed, but there were more problem of Izzy trying to kind of do the Anthony Pettis thing where he stands outside, feints a bunch, and then hopes the feints keep you there. And if you just step forward, he might not expect it.
It's
But
almost like
honestly,
it's a
I thought,
consistent problem with his style because he's had this problem against Anderson Silva at 42 years old and even back to his kickboxing days. It's almost like it's a problem that he shows consistently in his fights.
Well, shut the fuck up. Like
I don't understand.
I don't think it's the root cause. No, what I'm saying is I don't think that's the root cause of it. I think the root cause of it is that he does not want to clinch up, which is weird because he's actually good in the clinch, but like he's completely phobic to that range. So if he's not going to do anything on the inside, just fucking step in. Like that's all you really need to do. Don't worry about his feints.
He
Same
doesn't
goes with bum rushing him. Like just bum rush him. He's not going. He rarely ever clinches up, and you need that to be a good outfighter. It's impossible to stay on the outside consistently throughout the entire fight. Like that seems to be his biggest problem. But like he's still quite good on the counter and with his feints. That's just his volume lacks a bit. But
which is not a good thing to have. Which is not a good thing to have. One of the main problems when your opponent's Robert Whittaker, who doesn't lack volume.
I'm getting fucking there. Wait, shut the fuck up. I'm getting there. I was gonna say like, which is why I give him a good shot in the first 2 rounds or so. But like after then, you kind of have to go with Whittaker. Although like I still also watching Whittaker, I still picked up a few opportunities that Easy will have just from a style perspective. But like, yes, he'll probably have to like rack up damage in the first 2 rounds for him to actually win the fight.
Except that doesn't really make a difference. You think Izzy could rack up more damage in the first 2 rounds than Romero could rack up in general?
Body shots, man. He beat up He beat up Gastelum's body quite well in their fight. That actually seemed why
yes.
to slow
Kelvin Gastelum, known for his endurance and amazing gas tank,
but
right?
I
also love how you're like he beat up. Hold on, I also love how you're saying he beat up his body. He only landed 16 body shots the whole fight.
That's all you need.
That's not all you need.
You don't need that
not against Robert Whittaker, man. Sorry, that's not going to cut it against Robert Whittaker.
Who is the last person who consistently attacks Rob's body?
Who is? Do you really want to look that up?
No, I'm asking you now. Who has consistently attacked his body? Not like
Romero landed. Romero landed a bunch of body shots. He landed even more than that. He landed 19 in just the second fight alone, and he was trying to throw more. He missed on a bunch. So
I remember him missing. I don't remember him landing consistently to the body.
Okay, he landed more consistently. Hold on, he landed more consistently to the body than Izzy did against Kelvin. Does that make you happy? It answers your question because you can't just say things and then say they're not true. You're not looking up the stats. You're just going based off memory. He didn't.
No, I'm going based off fights there, but
you're not.
Look, I'm not disagreeing with you entirely. Like that's why I said you'd specifically need to rack that up in the first 2 rounds to have a shot at winning, I think.
But that's not how he usually fights. I don't trust it. But that's not how he usually fights. He's not a body attack guy. It's not what his style
exactly why I said he'd need to rack that up. Otherwise, I favor Whittaker down the stretch.
He doesn't normally do. Got it. Okay. We're clear on that. Something we don't really see from him.
Yeah, but there is also some stuff with Whittaker that I think, again, first 2 rounds that I'd favor Easy to kind of pick up. But you want to maybe talk a bit more about Easy because like it feels like you're trying to jump in a lot.
Well, a lot of the stuff you're saying are just things that, like the biggest problem I have with analysis like this, where we say like, here are the things that Izzy could do to win the fight. I don't like that kind of analysis because it's very rare that we see a fighter completely change how they fight. Izzy doesn't seem like the type of guy who after 70-something kickboxing fights and now 14 or 15 MMA fights, whatever his record is now, I'm not sure exactly, is not going to magically change the way he fights. That's my problem. You have to take a look at how he fights consistently and then take the tools from those fights and say, how could he apply said tools to beat the ex opponent in front of them? That's how I try to look at the fights. He's not going to suddenly become some body snatcher. That's not how he fights. It's not how he likes to fight. He's not suddenly going to become really good backing up to the cage or and use amazing boxing defense when he hasn't really shown that. And
wait, like he still has extremely good pocket defense. It's just that if you can get him backing up, he has that
that's
same
what I just
four-man
said.
problems.
I just said that.
No,
I just said backing up.
no, you said he's
I
not.
said backing up. I said I prefaced everything with backing up. I promise you I did.
Oh, my bad.
Okay, I'm not talking about open cage. And he, of course, he has his problems there too, but that's just like everyone does. Everyone has defensive liabilities. It's MMA. Okay. But backing up specifically, and if there is one thing we do know about Robert Whittaker is that he clearly is an intelligent fighter. We know he's very much someone who game plans for his opponents. He's talked about it. So these are things that they're going to notice in tape watching. They're going to see that Anderson Silva, a slower, older, basically zero output Anderson Silva, was able to back Izzy up pretty frequently whenever he chose to, basically, and was very effective doing it. So I'm not seeing how Izzy is going to be able to take out someone like Robert Whittaker. Again, this is all under the assumption that Whittaker is, physically the same or even similar, because he's gone through a lot. So you have that problem of the physicality. But if we're assuming that Robert's coming in regular shape, the way he is, I don't see why Izzy should be favored in any way, shape, or form, or even close to favored. I don't think this fight. I think stylistically, you're gonna have a big problem. You're getting Robert Whittaker is a far better offensive talent than Kelvin Gastelum in terms of actual varied skills. I think he's got a much more educated jab. He has far better kicks, and Kelvin landed a head kick that damn near took Israel's head off. You have probably among the best defense in the entire sport with Robert Whittaker, and he's also become a really, really good wrestler to boot. Apparently, he trains with the Australian Olympic team. So
yeah, he nearly made the Commonwealth team. He made the Commonwealth team. I remember. But I had to pull out.
So honestly, Israel's also not only facing the best fighter he's ever faced, he's facing the best wrestler he's ever faced so far. So this is not. I genuinely don't think, because Izzy also takes his time to get into his groove too. So the problem is that you're saying the first 2 rounds he really has to go and attack the body, pull the gas tank out of Whittaker, because he's not going to lose it on his own. But Izzy's not somebody who turns up the heat immediately anyway. So I don't see how he's going to suddenly become a fast starter, one who focuses his shots on the body and is also going to be someone who's going to consistently pressure so that Whittaker isn't able to force him backwards where he has his issues, especially with consistent strikes to the head with punches.
That's the thing. Okay, go on.
No, I don't see how he's suddenly going to change up everything he does, or a significant portion of everything he does, from one fight to the next after his whole career showed one thing. I get it. We see it happen. The Leech is an example of that, but a recent example of that. Or Justin Gaethje, I guess you could use as an example as well. But it's not something that happens all the time. So why would we that's like an X factor where Izzy might be able to change things.
His camp has demonstrated a lot of really good game planning before. Remember when Volkanovski came out against Aldo and did what no one has ever done? They are quite good at game planning.
That is true, but
they are really good at game planning, especially on the feet. But in any case, I don't think he'd have to pressure Whittaker to the fence to really have his A game going on. Because watching Whittaker,
not to the fence. Not to the fence. I didn't mean to the fence. I mean specifically just not let him back him up.
Oh yeah. He needs to not let Whittaker back him up. But I don't think he has to pressure Whittaker necessarily back, because watching Whittaker, yes, he is good at range and he has good pocket defense, but he kind of keeps his head on the center line when he throws kicks, and when he hops in and out of the pocket, a lot of the time he comes in really hard, and there's like a slice of range where he's vulnerable to getting hit when he's both exiting and entering that pocket distance. Like watching him against Yoel Romero, most of the clean shots that I've seen Yoel Romero land, whether it was dropping him or just kind of, one of those in between strikes, happened as he was either kicking and Yoel Romero countered it, or when he hopped into the pocket and Romero fired a same time counter at him. Easy is a really good counter puncher. So like on the plus side, Whittaker is also good at feinting, so he might be able to kind of confuse Izzy with that. But I don't think he needs to pressure Whittaker to get that game going.
I'm going to respond, and then we're going to let Alejandro talk. The problem with your this is the couple things. One, Romero didn't bite on most feints because his proprioception and timing and athleticism they're not human.
Yeah, they're not normal.
Right. So he's able to kind of respond, to Whittaker's assaults as they actually were coming in a way that I just don't think people can do. I don't think Izzy has. I'm not trying to like say like Izzy's not a good athlete, but like
no, he's a great athlete.
He's a great athlete, but like
the
way Romero was able to counter is not human compared to other people. And while there is like that split second you're talking about, how many people have consistently filled that hole? I don't really remember many people. Like even Uriah Hall, who's a freak athlete too, was not really.
But Uriah Hall is not the level of striker that.
No,
Adesanya
I'm not saying he is, but I'm saying in terms of athleticism and like there's such a like Romero is such an outlier. It's so hard to compare, especially because their styles are totally different. But I'm saying like Romero is virtually a pure pressure counterfighter, I guess is a better way of putting it. But the way Romero can respond, his ability to time also is elite as well. Like his timing is
Yoel Romero's like a fucking Saiyan came to Earth and had its shell chopped off at birth. Basically. But instead of studying with like Master Roshi, he ended up like competing in the Olympics.
Yeah, that's a really fucked up call, but it's true. Like I just don't know if Adesanya is going to be able to fucking.
Well, I mean, we'll look.
He's the first black Saiyan. I love it.
Well, okay, maybe now we know why he can never go Super Saiyan.
That's fucked up. That's fucked up. That's really fucked up.
What I wanted to say was, like on the other hand, like we haven't seen anyone kind of steal that ability away from Izzy so far. Most of the time, when people have had success, is getting him to back up and hitting him as he's backing up, but not really kind of. Once he sees you come kind of exploding into the pocket, he usually has a counter punch ready. In order to push him back, you kind of have to just lay the volume on him as you're doing it.
But we've seen Whittaker do that too.
No. I'm not saying he didn't do it. Like I was gonna say now, we've seen him do that plenty of times. But like
he's really good at it.
Unlike, but
Whittaker comes in behind this jab more often than not, and that's a problem for Adesanya.
The way Whittaker usually comes in is either with a jab or front kick, then he'd step in hard and into the pocket to throw combinations. So like that specifically, I think especially staying in the pocket for that combination works for Adesanya, because if he takes a step back, then he has that opportunity to counter Whittaker as he comes in. But if Whittaker actually kind of swarms him through that step, just kind of rush him like Gastelum did, then obviously it becomes a lot harder for Adesanya, and we saw that in the Gastelum fight.
Right, but that's a problem because I don't think Gastelum has nearly the depth of skill to actually to fully take advantage of that. We know Whittaker does, because Whittaker is a far better combination puncher than
because Adesanya does not. Well, going back to what I said initially, like Adesanya does not want to clinch.
Right.
If any fighter wants to fight on the outside, needs that kind of closing of the distance, whether it's John Jones,
for lack of better
clinching up. Yeah, even fucking Holly Holm.
No, I'm saying that's her safety blanket. She'll clinch.
Yeah, well, every out fighter needs something like that. You don't even have to be that good in the clinch. You just kind of need something to interrupt that bum rush. And like Adesanya doesn't have a tool, or at least hasn't showed a tool yet consistently to interrupt that bum rush. Because he's good when he's in the clinch. It's just that he doesn't know when to initiate the clinch when someone's bum rushing him. And that's like a fucking big problem.
Yep. Alejandro, what do you want to say about this fight?
No, I think you guys said everything.
We were arguing about this for a while. I apologize for that.
Yeah, no, it's fine. What I'm thinking is that this is a tricky one. Like it really should be in favor of Whittaker, just because of what you guys outlined. Like it seemed like a disagreement, but not so much. But the thing is, how like Whittaker has taken like heavy like damage in his career. Like he's gotten knocked out once. He's got badly beat up twice. The second fight should have been a loss, but that's how bad he got beat up. Then he had this life-threatening staph infection, which a lot of people may think like, oh, but he got better. Did he? Because that's what fucked up King Mo. Like one of the best athletes, best wrestlers that had ever competed in MMA. Like you could see like there's a clear, and I mean clear difference before that and after that. Just in the capability of physical performance.
I do want to just point out, first of all, I think you're slightly overrating Mo in terms of calling him one of the best. He was not one of the best athletes.
At the time.
Also, he's definitely not one of the best wrestlers, even at the time. He's
really?
Good. Really good. Don't get me wrong. But he was like, I don't...
I think he was like
sorry, he won world titles, but not like
one of the best freestyle wrestlers. Well, if he wasn't
he never won a world title. Sorry, he never won a world title. I'm wrong. He never won a world title. He's not
Bellator's like belt.
No, he never won a wrestling world title, and he also he won the Strikeforce belt and then immediately lost it to Feijao.
Yeah, roiding Feijao.
Yeah, well, that's true, but
he more roided also.
Lawal also tested roided, so
yeah, that's like
and then he got a boxing phase and everything.
Yeah, like he fucked up in a lot of ways.
No, he was good. He wasn't bad. He actually was a student of the game. I'm not saying whatever. Anyway, we're getting sidetracked. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, but you can see a difference. Like it's not like he.
Sorry.
Like it was very dramatic. As far as I remember, it was very dramatic. Like the things that he could do before and then he could do later, like it was significant. Like, and for a guy that's been beat up as much as Whittaker has been beat up, and when he's fighting a guy that, yes, he's not Rio Romero, but he has like vast reserve of technical ability. Like we're assuming that Whittaker is just gonna wait in and he's gonna like jab and then rush him somehow. And I'm not sure that it's that easy. Like the things that like I don't remember correctly like very well how Stephen Thompson beat Whittaker back in the day, or where Whittaker was training at the time.
I think it was kind of in that sliver of entering the pocket range, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, like is that something that Adesanya cannot replicate? And are we assuming that Whittaker has come so far leaps and bounds when he hasn't been fighting the same level of technical fighters that he was fighting like when he like Stephen Thompson? Like I don't think he's met that kind of ability again, like since he fought Thompson. So
he was apparently cutting also a stupid amount of weight.
Yes, absolutely. But the thing is, like when you have the level of technical ability that Adesanya has and the potential level of the technical degradation from Whittaker, like maybe those two meet in the middle. Like ideally, I don't disagree. Like Whittaker on paper should win this, right? Like everything we have seen from him lead us to think that he should win. But I'm not sure if it's gonna be that easy. Like I think, and especially because Adesanya is being trained by people that you need to do this to win. If you do this, or this, you're going to lose. Like we saw it. Like if he's training with the people that train Volkanovski, when would he have seen Volkanovski fight against Style, against Jose Aldo, and win? Like that's the kind of people that he has behind him. And he still has his technical ability that far exceeds Whittaker's stand-up. Like, I'm sorry, like, it's not even a contest. If you just put these guys to fight in the stand-up, Whittaker ain't winning that one. Like, it's in the weighing the other different options that MMA affords you, where Whittaker should win, right? And I sit closer than most, like, but I still think Whittaker should win. But I wouldn't really be that surprised by Adesanya just like flashing him and then.
Well, I would.
Him out. Like,
I would be surprised.
No, I wouldn't. I really wouldn't.
If he flash KOs Whittaker, I would be surprised. Not because I don't think anybody.
Yeah,
That's like
I'm gonna be surprised by that too.
Dude, come on! Like, you can't say that the guy who went through those 2 fights with Romero, you'd be like, I wouldn't be surprised if Izzy flashed KOs. So, yeah, you would. Would be
precisely. Wait. Let me finish. That's precisely why, because he went through those fights with Joel Romero.
But there was also no indication that his chin was going. He just got hit with huge shots. That's what I'm saying. Usually there's some sort of like the Kelvin Gastelum fight with Izzy. I would not be shocked if Kelvin's chin was gone. Because of the fact, like, that's the kind of fight that I feel like wrecks a chin. The fight with Romero, the shot, like, I don't think the shots that dropped Kelvin drop him in the first round necessarily.
Like, no, I agree, but the substantial damage that he took, like, how can we just say, no, man, you get a ton of damage, then a ton of damage, and then you get staph infection? Like,
well,
really?
Again, there's no way to know, but I'm saying I still
No, but I'm saying I wouldn't be surprised. Like, I'm not saying, like, I'm making, like, a judgment.
The staph infection for Mo was in his knee, and it did a significant amount of structural damage to the point where his knee never recovered. So there's a very big difference in where Whittaker had it versus where Mo had it.
Yeah, he had it in his stomach.
Yeah, it's a very big difference. I don't know if that would be nearly as have as nearly as heavy an effect on Robert as it did on.
What if it affected his lungs in some way?
We would know about it. Like, he wouldn't be able to fight probably. How can you fight if your lungs are fucked? Can't breathe.
I don't know. People literally fight with collapsed lungs. We've seen that before.
Yeah.
Well, he could always fight like Derek Lewis.
Yeah, like, we don't know. Like, I'm honestly quite concerned about his well-being because of the amount of beatings that he's taken. Like, I don't disagree with anything of your, like, final evaluation of, yes, Whittaker should win, but that's where I'm, like, worried because that's the thing.
Well,
that's the thing.
We have to move on.
I'm sort of in between you. Like I said, like, I think Whittaker should be favored down the stretch, but like, Izzy has the skill sets to take advantage of, that
early on.
Yeah.
I just don't.
Yeah, but out of need. Fair enough. No, I fair enough. We're gonna see. Like, I honestly not gonna be surprised in some wacky shit.
I mean, like, he's got one knockout. He's got one early finish since joining the UFC, and it was Derek Brunson.
Yeah, but then if he doesn't do it, he just cannot win. Like, that, if Whittaker is somehow on his game, he just cannot win.
But he's not going to turn it up unless you force him to. Like, even then, he doesn't turn it up. He just, like,
look, he knows he doesn't have a choice. That's what I'm saying.
That's not necessarily true. You might not know that. You don't know that. We don't know if he knows he doesn't have a choice.
I think that the people training him will probably talk him through, like, hey, like, if this fight goes long, it's gonna get really difficult.
Well, I don't know if Izzy's the type of guy to be able to change that, though. He's not really a.
Look. I shouldn't say it like. No, you're correct. Like, I shouldn't. No, wait. I shouldn't say it like that. Like, you're correct. Like, obviously, I don't know, but I think that they know what his chances are, and I don't think that they're deluding themselves.
I feel like you're giving MMA camps a lot more credit than they deserve.
To be fair, he's at City Kickboxing, I think. So it's kickboxing camp.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on. We do have to move on. I'm calling a Whittaker KO 3.
Yeah.
I wouldn't put it at KO 3. I think if he finishes him, it'll be in the 4th or 5th round.
Okay.
Yeah, 4, maybe. Yeah. Like, Adesanya can take a beating. Like,
yeah, like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if Izzy won, but like, he'd need to do, a good game plan, basically.
Yeah. Let's move on to Iaquinta versus Dan Hooker. I'll let Alejandro speak first because he didn't really speak that much, unless he doesn't want to talk
Nah,
about his fight.
oh man, like this fight, I hope it's fun. It doesn't seem like it's gonna be very technical,
What?
or maybe it is. Nah, it's kind of like you can draw Iaquinta into like a slugfest. It seems, and it seems like Hooker is gonna do that. So we're gonna have like, it is probably also kind of ends early if it goes that way. But I feel like Iaquinta has slightly better hands, but he doesn't have the better pace. So it's gonna be an issue of who catches who first. Like if Iaquinta gets caught a bunch of times early, he's probably gonna fade, and we've seen him fade. And Hooker kind of doesn't fade. But if he waits improperly, Iaquinta can catch him, and then he's gonna put him out. So it's kind of like meh. And they're probably gonna meet in the middle in a place where it's not very technical, and they're just gonna harm themselves until someone gives up. That's pretty
I
much
actually
it.
have the opposite take. I think Hooker's going to pick him apart from the outside. Which is
I have
like that's. I think that's a bit disappointing to think about because I think Al is the better overall fighter to be in that like top 10. But like he's just never been that good against people who can kickbox while at range. Like just
But
something
Hooker is
makes him
Hooker
struggle.
gonna do that?
Hooker has done it in the past. Like he's at the opposite problem where he struggled to put pressure on, but like on the outside, he's generally very good.
I don't
So,
know.
I kind of have to favor Hooker to do that, even though I think like Hooker probably has less chance of beating a Kevin Lee, for example, than Aldo.
I want to hear what Ben has to say.
Why?
I just want to know because of the difference. Like we're clearly like split on this.
I think that it's going to be interesting because Al Iaquinta, despite it, he definitely prefers to be able to come forward. Hooker is really, really good at timing shorter guys coming in on him with these really gorgeous knees, for example. He's very good at that, and Al has a tendency to get stuck at the mid range. The guys who Hooker tended to struggle with were people who had range parity and who he could not like just use his length against. And we saw him actually do a really good job of taking out James Vick in his last fight. But Al Iaquinta is not generally the type of guy that Hooker has ever really struggled with. And Al is not like some supreme, amazing athlete who's going to just be able to, tag him and then get out. Like, I don't know if you guys remember Maximo Blanco. Like, that's a guy who Hooker lost to in the UFC. But he's a freak athlete. Granted, he's a head case, but he's a freak athlete. The other guys are Yair Rodriguez, Jason Knight, and Edson Barboza. The guys who Hooker does really well against are, shorter guys generally. I mean, the guy beat Gilbert Burns, CP Jim Miller, Ross Pearson. Like, he's really, really, really good at timing people coming in. I don't think it's going to be some wild fight. I honestly think that Hooker's going to – I think it's going to fall more on Bilal's side. That I think that Hooker's going to honestly like land some really good strikes from the outside, and I think we might see Iaquinta get finished here.
Maybe, even though Hooker's defense is really bad, though.
Hooker's defense is not really bad. I think it's
his defense is quite okay.
It's not
MMA standards even
by
good.
MMA standards specifically. I don't think it's really bad. I think he's okay. He doesn't get hit a ton, and the guys who do hit him are generally far better athletes. Like, he's not amazing. He gets hit a little bit less than 50% of the time. But he showed some better defense against Vick.
That's bad.
It's bad, but
well,
he's getting better.
The average MMA defense is like 50%. So.
Yeah, no, I'm saying he's been getting better over time.
Oh,
I think.
Well, he does train with Adesanya, I think, right?
Yeah, it's definitely not hurting him to train with Adesanya. He trains them a lot. I think
I do want to say that. Yeah,
I'm just going to call Hooker KO 2 or 3.
Yeah, I call Hooker KO 3. Mostly because like Al's stance is very front foot heavy, so it's not ideal for pressuring. And like if he's gonna want the mid range, but he's not gonna be able to pressure well, then like I think Hooker's just gonna pick him apart from the outside, and like he does like sting when he lands. Like we've seen that in fights before. Like unless you're really athletic or, as Ben mentioned, they have range parity, like usually it's hard enough for him to finish you. So, but I mean, I was also very tough. So
I'm gonna give
finish, I think it'll be 3, but
I'm gonna give Hooker like a unanimous decision here. I'm not sure if he can finish all, but I'm gonna give it to Hooker though.
yeah, I mean, Al is stupid tough. Like, but
Yeah,
if anyone's gonna do it, I'd probably pick Hooker.
Yeah,
For that style specifically.
especially if he gets tired, but I don't see him get so tired that he becomes like helpless at some point.
Now, Al has good cardio. Like, I'm just more worried that Hooker's gonna pick him apart from the outside, and that will set up like the end sequence.
And they're fighting 3 rounds. I feel confident in the unanimous decision for Hooker.
That's reasonable, yeah.
All right, we're gonna move on from this card because honestly, I'm not gonna. It's not much. That's it. Like that's all they got. We're gonna move on to the UFC on ESPN Plus 18, which was held in Copenhagen, Denmark. It was headlined by Hermansson Cannonier. Cannonier looked good. He countered Hermansson with a very nicely timed uppercut to rock him and hurt him. I'm actually really disappointed because I feel like Hermansson took away a lot of the wrong lessons from the exchanges in the fight. He kind of was like, I was thinking, during the fight, I'm like, why aren't you continuing to do that? Why did you stop doing that? Why did, the whole time I was just like, Like, he got discouraged a little too easily from certain things. Like, the leg kicks were naked, but he was also able to disguise his entries with hands because he was throwing those naked leg kicks. And he should have adjusted and gone from, okay, I'm going to kick first. And then it opened up the hands. Okay, so I'm going to now land the hands. Okay, now he's adjusting to open the hands. I'm going to fake that with the hands and then throw that leg kick. He got so hung up on the fact that he couldn't control him on the ground that he basically kind of just fell apart in a way, which I didn't expect that. I really didn't expect him to just fall apart mentally. That being said, I really enjoyed the grappling exchanges because Jared did a really good job of showing urgency and staying on his feet, which is something that was one of our concerns, is that he historically has not shown that. And he really, really showed that again. It looks like it's an adjustment he's making. The grappling exchange when Hermansson got his back, Cannonier did everything right. He got to the side without the seatbelt on it. He got his back to the mat and was able to rotate, and Hermansson was not able to secure top position afterwards. It was a really, really good showing from Cannonier in that sense. He did eat 13 leg kicks, which is not good, and barely checked any. That being said, he also did check at the end. I think in the second round, he checked the leg kick. No, sorry, not in the second round. At the end of the first round, he checked the leg kick, and you saw Hermansson visibly react to it. And that's actually really, maybe it was the second round. I'm not trying to remember. Was it? I don't know. Whichever one it was either the end of this first or the beginning of the second before the knockout, where he checks a leg kick. You see Hermansson visibly react, and that's when changed up how Hermansson fought. But very good performance for Cannonier. He just beat the 5th ranked guy, I think. And both Jacare, Weidman, and Rockhold are all out of the division now. So I'm not really sure what the fuck to say. I don't know who's available or who's even still. I think that Weidman is still ranked. I think that Jacare is still ranked. Yeah. No. Oh, no. Weidman and Jacare are both ranked still. So, yeah, it's weird. I guess is who's available?
Joel Romero.
Yeah, I'd be down for that.
I want to see Romero maybe take a little time to recover, but that's not a bad call in the fight.
Yeah, he could fight Brad Tavares, but it would be like moving. He has to fight.
No, that's way back. Where Tavares is like 12. There's no reason.
But there's like this massive like gulf between them because there's Jacare, there's Jacare Manson, there's Weidman. Like that's
Weidman moving up.
5, 6, and 7.
Weidman moved
up.
Yeah,
I know. No, wait. I'm talking about that. There's this gulf, right? There's again Hermanson, Jacare, Weidman. That those were 5, 6, and 7. Then there's Cannonier, right? So he could fight Joel Romero, which would be the only fight that rankings-wise makes sense because Gastelum is like already slated to fight someone else. Or he could fight Hall. He could fight Uriah Hall.
No.
But he's ranked underneath Tavares.
Yeah, he's ranked number 11. I don't know about that. There's a point to that.
You want him to fight Brunson? He could fight Brunson.
That's a better fight. Plus, it'll show us where Brunson's at with the new improvements he's shown.
Yeah.
But I'd be okay with Cannonier Brunson. But if not, then I guess maybe Gastelum is booked, right?
Yeah, he's going to fight Darren Till.
Okay, so if Gastelum wins that, let's have him fight Kelvin. Give him Doughboy.
Yeah, my Doughboy.
Okay,
my beautiful Doughboy.
We're also going to now discuss the Mark Madsen. Came in and beat the guy he was supposed to beat, and he beat him impressively, beat the crap out of him in just over a minute. He's 35, I think, but, them wrestling prospects.
They should just fucking rush him up.
Yeah, they have to. Then we have Gilbert Burns.
Have him fight Kevin Lee next or something.
I love that fight.
Which one?
Gilbert Burns versus Gunnar Nelson.
It was a fun fight. I enjoyed that. Yeah. I really did.
Also, Nelson made some strides with his stand-up, which I liked.
Yeah, but Gilbert did a really good job. Like, he diffused him pretty well. And he took advantage of the fact that Gunnar really doesn't have a good gas tank.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I also, between this and the Dalby fight, I realized exactly why I never seem to like SBG Island stand-up.
Okay.
Because, the original fighters were always these grindy grapplers that do well on regional circuits, but fall apart when they're up against more experienced wrestlers from other countries. And then you have the second type, which is basically just Conor McGregor. And then you have the third fight, which is then you have the third type.
That's bad.
Well, it's true. Have you seen any one of them actually look like Conor McGregor in the fight?
Well, James Gallagher tried.
They tried. That's
the third type I was getting to. The third type is those who try to do that, but they will just move around a lot at range where they're too far to hit anything, then kind of explode across distance, land one power head strike and try to snipe. And usually end up getting counted. And then
because the problem... Just give me a moment. Let me just interrupt you for a little moment. The problem is the athleticism there. Conor has a style that is very specific for his body type and his athleticism. And then you have these guys that have neither the body type nor the athleticism, like the Portuguese dude. I'm not hating on him, but you can kind of see him in the Bellator Grand Prix that is going on right now. You can kind of see that style doesn't fit him very well.
But no, Brad Katona, Nicholas Dalby, Gunnar Nelson, none of them are bad athletes. They just share the similar trait where they'll try to explode across distance to snipe a shot, and they will look cool doing
that's
it.
What they're being
but
taught.
Once they get there, they are defensively open. There is no subtlety. It's explode across range with a fancy looking move, and then hope it lands. It's basically the third type.
Yeah, you're correct.
All right. Then let's move on to the Ian Cotalaba versus Khalil Roundtree Jr. God damn. We saw Khalil basically forget everything after that first takedown. And he reverted back to brawling, throwing punches wildly, Khalil. And that sucked.
Yeah.
He came out looking amazing against Eric Anders. He came out looking to throw kicks just like in the fight before. And then Kutalaba
got
caught
cooked.
one. He got caught one, and it just was like, oh shit, goodbye. And then he was just winging hooks, winging them. And yeah, Kutalaba fought really smart, which is something I never thought I would really say.
Oh yeah, I don't know.
I genuinely was shocked.
I think Khalil. I think he
go
just panicked because like his Muay Thai coach didn't show him how to work from guard. So
it's not even just that. It's also like it's not. That's funny. Secondly, it's not just that. It's also like he showed like his work in the clinch was still really bad. Like really.
Yes, it seemed to be like a matter of shot selection, because for whatever reason, if he has good power, he could have gone to the body. I know I harp about this a lot, but if you're gonna throw a hook to the head and fail, and you're already in a precarious position, you should just instead throw it to the body, because it's way more likely that it lands. If you have power, it's way more likely that it does significant damage. But he's not doing that. Like, he started just literally winging hooks, and I think he just freaked out by the grappling, by how strong Kuchelaba felt, and then he didn't get enough time to sort of placate himself and get himself back into the groove. And sucks for him, though. Like, I like him, but there's stuff he has to fix. A lot of them.
Yeah. I don't think we'll see him fix it, honestly, but it'll be
enjoyable. He's 35, I think.
Yeah, he's not young.
He's up there. But what he's in, is that like middleweight, like heavyweight? Like,
this is light heavyweight.
He does?
Nah.
Yeah, no, he has time.
No, he doesn't. OSP got another Von Prue.
Oh, fucking hell, man.
And it was glorious.
Yes,
and you know what?
Yes,
you know what?
Yes.
Props to him, because he actually now forces the guy's arm over his neck so that he can do the choke, and then holds it there. That's fucking amazing.
Is so fucking weird.
I love him in the worst way.
I love what he said after that. Did you see what he said after that? He said, like, the Buffalo choke is my choke. Like, why do these people keep giving it to me?
It's just very funny. It's very funny. And he's right, because like people are like it's like the smartest thing to just like, it's so smart because it's light heavyweight. It's like such a good choke to know for light heavyweight. I can't.
I just want him to keep winning.
OSP is.
I want him to keep winning.
I don't know how you put it, but basically OSP is light heavyweight. That is light heavyweight.
The essence of light heavyweight. If you took light heavyweight, made it into a person, that's OSP.
It's just so great. Oh my god. That being said, Olachechuk, I think I pronounced that sort of correctly, was just wrecking OSP in the body, and that like he's just walking him and throwing left hands, and it was so bad. Like OSP is just eating them, and he got knocked down, and like I don't know.
He will not lose, man.
It's a Derek Lewis game plan, but at light heavyweight, basically. Get shit kicked for like an entire round, and then come from behind with like some bullshit ass thing.
It's crazy.
Look,
anyway,
man, if he looks you in the eye and he can see like this light fear of a bum flu choke, he knows he's got it. Yep. He will get it.
The last fight I'm going to talk about on this card is Mark DeCasey versus Lando Venata. That was
I don't want to die. Sadness.
Why? That was great. That was.
Listen, I like Lando.
I would like him a lot more if he left Jackson Wink and actually gave a shit about his career.
He left Jackson.
Doesn't
Wink.
he train with?
He trains with Cerrone.
Sorry,
no, he trains with Cerrone and Gibson, but like that's not that's not where he needs to go. He needs to really work on certain things, and I don't really think he's getting it there. The problem is that there's a problem with DeCasey. If you let him have open range, is where you're going to have success. Every time Venata walked him back, we saw DeCasey get. That's where Lando did his best work, and we've seen that with DeCasey throughout his career. Most recently with Nasrat Haqparast. The reason why he looks so good against Duffy is that Duffy is not really going to pressure you. He's not going to force you off on the back foot. Close also beat Casey the same way. Dan Hooker's choked him in the third round. I don't remember the fight, so I can't really tell you. I can't really say that I remember the fight. But Venata, when you're fighting in open range with Casey, you're going to have a really big problem because he's got range and serious athletic ability, and he is, he has some good tools to work with at that range. That low calf kick he was landing on. He hurt him in the first,
he has the tools, but I wouldn't call him a good range fighter.
He's not,
really athletic.
Yeah,
he's good.
You listen. You don't totally wreck Joe Duffy from range without being somewhat decent as a range fighter.
No, like I said, he has some good tools from there, but I wouldn't really call him a finished range product yet.
No, he's not.
He actually does a lot better when he wrestles.
Again, I'm not saying he's a complete product. I'm saying that he is decent at range, and Venata is not going to be able to out-athlete him there. He's not going to be able to time him and catch him because Casey's just that fast. So whenever Venata did walk forward, we saw him have success.
Is Lando a really good athlete? Okay,
no,
not really good. Is he a great athlete though?
No,
because I've kind of suspected it for a while, but I don't.
I never said he was. I wasn't saying he was a great athlete. I'm saying that every time he pushed Dykes off the back foot, he had success.
No, but okay, so he's had some success against other good athletes. But I don't think if he goes head to head in athleticism, he could win.
No, he can't. Really. That's what I'm trying to say. He can't. That's my son.
Yeah, he agrees. Hola, Daniel.
So yeah, I think we agree there. The next thing and the last thing we're going to talk about is quickly we're going to run down the Bellator card. Mousasi beat Machida by split decision. It wasn't a fun fight. It was interesting to watch just how little Mousasi cares.
I love it.
Listen, I know you're saying he says that he did not train before the fight, but I don't know if that's true because Mousasi has excuses for every single thing in his career.
No, okay, let me just say this.
Your son is really cute.
Yes, he is. I find it really, really amusing that Mousasi was saying, I am a sore loser and was making excuses before this fight. He literally said something like that. Oh, I may be a sore loser. He did fail grease, but he can get up. I don't know. And then before the fight, he also said, I didn't really train, but I'm okay. I don't think he's lying because I think he just doesn't really care and he's telling you. And you get this kind of performance.
Listen, when you're trying to avenge a loss that you've been bitching about for 5 years or whatever it is already, don't come in saying I didn't train. Nah, come on. Stop it.
Nah, why? What if it's the truth? And then it looks like he didn't train.
Because he's trying to get a rematch with Rafael Lovato Jr. and he's trying to get some sort of hyper excitement for that. Maybe he'll look good when he comes in for that. But instead he comes in
but he
looking
doesn't care.
Okay, well if he doesn't care, then why should I?
He goes through phases, yeah. It's he picks up momentum and then he stops caring and looks shit. Then he loses
Exactly.
and then comes back looking like someone kicked his puppy or something.
But he did lose his last fight. He lost his last fight, and he came back looking like this.
I don't know then.
Maybe he's just getting old.
Hold on.
It's very possible. He's had
maybe
fights. He's had, 50 fights, and he's 34 years old already? Maybe it's that simple.
Probably.
55, and he's had 8 kickboxing matches and 13 amateur boxing fights. He's just getting old, maybe. The Pitbull just beat the crap out of Juan Archuleta for the most part. Patricio Berry, the guy is undeniably a top 5 featherweight in my opinion, and I would love to see him against some of the UFC guys. I don't think we will. Now he's part of this Grand Prix.
I still want to see him against Aldo.
I would like to, but I don't know. At the same time,
no, I don't think it'll happen. But I want to see him against Aldo.
AJ McGee knocked out Georgie Kanyan in 8 seconds. That was funny. I watched it.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny. I'm not gonna lie.
His dad also beat someone in the same card.
Yeah, he beat. I don't know about this. Yeah, he beat William Sriapi.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Also by TKO in the second round, though. So good for him. Darian Caldwell out-wrestled and just basically out-athleted Henry Corrales. And Weichel defeated Saul Rogers. I don't know if you guys remember. Isn't Saul Rogers the guy who was on the Ultimate Fighter at one point? I'm pretty sure that was him.
I don't remember.
Yes,
I don't remember
it is.
Tough.
It is. He was. He was on the Fighter. I think he was on the Aussie. I don't remember which one though. I don't remember which one he was on. I can't remember, but I know he was on one of the Ultimate Fighters. But yeah, Weichel defeated him also by UD. AJ Agazarm defeated Jonathan Quirez by unanimous decision as well. The reason why it's important to note is because he did not do ADCC this year because I imagine that's part of the reason why. So it's an interesting thing to note because he actually did very, very well last year, but he did not compete this year, as we can see. The other card, I think we had Michael Page defeat Richard Kelly by a KO flying knee in the first round. Well, when you bring in somebody to lose and they lose, it's great.
Did you hear they're trying to find both fighters? They're trying to find both fighters for like flipping each other off and stuff.
I did not know that. But that's fine. Oh my god. Be right back.
That's fucking weird. I don't know.
Oh my god. Okay.
Okay, Alejandro, yes or no?
Yeah.
Yes or no?
My son just threw
Roger versus Fanata.
My son just threw blueberries all over the floor. James Gallagher defeated Roman Salazar in the first round via submission, 35 seconds in. Whatever. And then we finally, the last thing I'm going to talk about is Benson Henderson beats Miles Jury. And it looks, it was pretty much what I expected. It was pretty much what I expected. Yeah. I'm not going to say it was a good fight, but I will say that Benson Henderson fought at welterweight and Jury fought at featherweight, and Jury looked a full weight class bigger.
Well, Jury fought at lightweight before, and he wasn't a small lightweight either.
Right, and he made it to featherweight and fought a couple fights there, right?
Yeah, but like Bender wasn't exactly like a giant welterweight either. Like
he wasn't a giant welterweight, but he wasn't considered. He was considered a large lightweight, and Jury was very clearly bigger.
But Jury wasn't like he was quite large at lightweight also. Like what I'm saying is that he cut down to featherweight, but like doesn't take away from the fact that he was big.
I'm saying it's kind of crazy that Benson had some sort of success at welterweight while Jury fought at featherweight. Well,
did Jury get rocked by Chad Mendes once?
Yeah, he got knocked the fuck out.
Yeah, wasn't that like his
last fight? That was his last fight in featherweight, and now he's at lightweight again in Bellator. Anyway, I think that's it. We've covered pretty much everything we can. Errol Spence defeated Sean Porter in an amazing boxing match, and you need to go watch it.
Yes, I'm going to go watch it because
competitive, exciting, crazy, awesome fight. You definitely need to go watch it. Thank you all so much for joining us. I've been your host, Ben Cohn. Please follow us on Twitter at MMAngstP. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, MMAngst Podcast. Same with our SoundCloud. Also, I am now a contributor for thefightsite.com. Please go check us out there. Shout out to them. They've been awesome to me. I love them. They're some great guys, phenomenal writers. You should definitely go check it out. And buy my beef jerky. I think that's pretty much it. Daniel, relax. All right. Say goodbye, guys.
Daniel, it's all going to be fine.
Bye, Daniel.
All right.